we're going to tie up one of my setups here. It's really effective. We've got our corkies and cheaters, your lines, 15-pound Iser is what I'm using for most of the big king salmon, silver salmon. And I'm using steelhead gear. I take the line and go around my pinky, pull some slack out like this. You don't have to do that, but it helps keep it from sliding up and down. You need tension here. Hold the line like this and hook it to the hook side of the hook and spin the shank 7 times. And you're going to get it wet. Either dip it in the water and then back through this little tiny hole. Wiggle the tail, and if you see it go back and forth like that, you know it's through the hole. I grab it with my teeth to start with. Help pull this at the same time as you pull this. And I help it with my thumb a little bit so it doesn't bind up the line, and then pull it tight till it stops with your fingernails and pull it the rest of the way. Hold the hook in tight like this, pull it tight again, use your fingernails and make sure it's cinched all the way down and move just a little bit there. There, it stops moving. And double check my fingernails. Always do it 3 times and triple check your work. You will lose a fish. I have videos to prove it where I've lost fish from not double checking that. Actually, somebody else lost it. And so there you have just a simple cinch knot 7 times, spin it 7 times, and go back through the hole. Take your line like this, get the tag end, and you're just going to simply take it through the bottom side of a cheater. Corkies work, but because they're so round, here's a corky, but because it's so round, it'll spin around the back of the shank. The cheater, let's see, floor. The cheater, go back through the eye. You put your cheater on, make sure it's through it. This part's important, so now it's on the back. You see where the round corky wants to roll around that easier like this, and then it'll block your hook gap. The cheater does not roll in there. See how it pops back? It stays out of the hook gap. This part's important. Right here, you're going to take the main line, your leader, pull it tight, hold the back of the hook, have it in the position it's going to be, go to this side of the eye of the hook, and snap, snap, snap. It's not nicking it, all it's doing is putting a bend in there. It's putting a bend right at the eye so that your hook stays straight and perpendicular with your leader. Okay, it's important, otherwise it kind of has this kick to it like that. It's not going to float through the water right. So when it floats in the water, literally floats like this with the hook going downriver like that. And when the fish goes to pick it up, it turns and it sets really well right in the corner of their mouth. This is their mouth. It gets them right here in that really tough plated area, which even with barbless hooks, it gets in there. It's twisted in there and it's locked in. You'll see we have to use these pliers just to get a barbless hook out. Since I'm fishing this on the green tomorrow, I'll go ahead and clip it. Hear that barb? Clipped off. Sometimes you'll still see a little bit on there in the video. If it didn't clip all the way, I didn't do it intentionally. Always double check if you can. Put your reader glasses on. There you go. So that is barbless, and the key about this is when you have a corky or a cheater on the top up here, you've got 4 angles that can bend in. And one of the angles it can bend in closes your hook gap completely. And if you think about this, the trailing edge is the corky. It's coming, it's going to hit the fish first, in the mouth, head, wherever you're trying to get it. It's going to hit first, and it's going to bend one way or the other. And if it does this, it hits the hook gap, you feel a fish, you yank, and you don't get a fish. You wonder why, oh, I just missed one. Doing it like this, you're going to up your odds. You're going to be hooking a lot more fish. When I do a test like this, I come over my arm, and that hook is laying down like this. You can see how it grabs. I guess it was twisted. We'll do that again so you can see it better. This is one of the tests I didn't know this would work well. I come across like that. You can see the hook's getting my skin every time. Okay, every time I come up across, see how it rolls over it? Because the hook is on the bottom side, it's heavy. Every time that hook's on the bottom side against the flesh of the fish's mouth. Or if this cheater's up on there, and I do that same test, that cheater will hit first and knocks the hook sideways up in the air in the opposite direction like this. So I'm not even going to bother tying one to show you. You get the idea. And if you try it, you will understand why we do it. It doesn't break right here. I've never had one break. I've had a corky split in half and come back with just the hook off of a snag, but never on a fish. I got 6 keepers and everything all on one hook setup the other day. Alright guys, so we're done for the day. Got our stuff packed up over here. These guys are just getting a lot of humpies down here. This is my silver layout here for the day. This is our catch. So we got 3 adults and 4 jacks. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It doesn't get snagged because it floats at about 4 inches under current. It floats at about 4 inches under the water with this size corky and this size hook. I floated them in water and then pulled them to see where they would float at. And if they're on the bottom and they're going under those fish, the fish are not going to reach down and snap at it. If it's coming right at the fish's eye, like through this camera, that fish will not turn its head because it's small and it's black. Even if it's a leaf, it'll just suck it in and spit it out. If it's a bug, it'll bite it and spit it out. If it smells like eggs, it'll pick them up, chew them, spit them out. The hen will pick it up and try and put it back in the rocks. So you have a variety of odds that you're raising by using something like this, where it's not dragging on the ground, you're yanking in the last part of the drift to try and get it to come up into its face and hook it in the gill plate. This is probably 95% of the time when you see me pull a fish into my videos, it is right in that. If this is the mouth, it is right here. It's in there, or it's in the nose, it's in here, it's in the tongue. So see if you just tie to that back of the shank. But you see how the fish's teeth are they're not gonna mar my line at all, because that knot goes straight up and down, and it can just slide back and forth in their gum. It's a smaller hook, so they don't move out of the way, and it floats. To float a bigger hook, you have to have a big ominous thing out there, and you have to yank at the end of every cast to snag one, literally. Walking up first cast, fourth cast, within 10 casts, and then doing it. And that's where I decided there's no luck in fishing. There is, but you can lower the odds a lot. Or up your odds, I should say. Like that, fish on. Set the hook. What'd you say, my God? I'm telling you, man, that's why I'm making YouTube videos. Because it's something that, oh, this one's gonna take me for a ride, sorry. I'll make sure it's a hatchery before I drag them up on the shore like a Neanderthal. Woo! Nice chromer. I think that's 8 or 9. It's a hatchery, it's another keeper with sea lice. I guess I'm done. Yeah, like I said, right down the size corky and hook. I just went on, here you go. Here's another one right here. All right, I gotta turn my camera on for that, man. Are you cool with that? All right, so I just gave him my hook set up, and I'm done for the day. Packed up my 6 fish. He just tied it on, literally just tied it on. tossed it out there, mended his line so there was tension in the line. He could feel it, lifted a couple times and fish on. First cast, I want to watch him. He's going to catch, I'm going to see if he can go 5 casts without doing it, because he already knows how to fish and feel the bottom and the bounce. He already knows exactly what I was doing. Just a matter of getting that setup on there, man. Oh, that is awesome. And I can't tell you how many first casts I get on my videos, dude. Or 4th cast is the most average, is 4th, but had to turn the camera back on for this. So, oh, look at that 3rd cast, dude. Nice. I got to sit here and watch you weed through fish, brother. And it's a coho, right? It was your first coho jack, man. Yeah, it is. Hey, what's your name? Steve Perdue, bro. Nice person. Look at where it hooks him at, man. Right in the face, right by that jaw joint, man. And then run it through, just like that. And watch what it does in the water when you put it in the water. I mean, I've even pulled it in where the hook was floating on the side and watched it just turn hook down.
Oh, I see, okay.
The key is, though, they're not moving out of the way. If it's too colorful coming at them, too bright, stuff like this, when it gets close to them, even if it's in their mouth, it gets close to them, they'll turn, spit your line out, and you go to yank, and it goes right by them. And that's why my hook ratios are so much higher, besides keeping the tension out of the line, so I'm not making a big loop through the water, and you'll see that in the rest of the videos. So now this is all together. Number 12 cheater. Okay, right here, instead of a corky, which is the round one. A number 4 side drift hook. This is this bad boy right here. It's not the big one. I've got 50-pound kings on this. I've been catching 20s, 18s, 15s, hitting the Squally, Puyallup, you name it. This is my trailer hook, also on my fishing gear that got the 30-pounder that's on my YouTube card that I'm handing out. Or you see on my Facebook or anything, that big 30-pounder, that was the tailor hook that was in the tongue. And then 10 to 15-pound line, I use mono in dirty water like the Puyallup, then Squally. Don't waste fluorocarbon there. If you go to the Green River, you can use fluorocarbon, but I tell you, using this Iser line yesterday, because it's a moss green, I was using that in the Green River yesterday, which is perfectly clear. You'll see the video. It's absolutely ridiculous. I was trying to not catch a fish every 5 casts, and it was very difficult to do. I got all 6 keepers that I wanted, silvers, 3 nice chromers, a few fire trucks. Yeah, it was good stuff. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Watch these videos. I'll talk about this stuff, why I'm using it in fishing. And I've watched a lot of people change over from flossing to side drifting because this is so effective. Why floss? And the problem is a lot of side drifters out there are not side drifting efficiently enough to get the flossers to change over. You want to complain about them, but the problem is they're standing there catching more fish than you. So this has been my plan all year. It's been working. I've got 30 episodes or more, different slots where people are coming up asking me what I'm doing, and they're stopping what they're doing, which is flossing, taking off the beads, the big giant hooks that sink to the bottom, throwing this on. In the first couple of casts, some of them are getting fish, some of them 5 casts, 10 casts in, but they're getting fish right away. So it convinces them and they change over. So it's not just the color, it's not just the hook, it's not just the leader. There's a bunch of other stuff that we do when we're fishing this. We're going to lift and keep our tension out of the line throughout the drift. And during that process, we hook a lot of fish because we use a slider weight, and we can feel that direct nibble that when the fish is trying to spit either the line or spit your hook, which is difficult to spit the hook when they're this small. It gets caught right in the corner of their mouth, which tells me they're not even bothering trying to spit it because it's so small. It gets right in there, just like that, almost every time. All right, folks, have a good day, and check this out, like and follow, and whenever I post the rest of these episodes, I got like 30 episodes from this year, I'm going to post them all, and if you're in them, they'll be posted up there, and then every time I post one, you'll get a message that it's up.